Hello out there again, everybody. I said I wouldn't be too long, and I was true to my word for a change. A couple of hours break. Hopefully, I want to do like a good 3 or 4 hour video here, and maybe even finish off level 1 now. This go. It's only a matter of time until I get a copyright hit on those, and I have to mute the intro on YouTube. They're all great music. Both of these are the Robocop C64. First one was Robocop 3. This is number 1. You can tell it's released by Ocean. It sounds like other Ocean games, and I think I get a copyright on most of the Ocean ones. We'll find out later. It's no biggie, you can just mute them, start. It's fun finding out which ones are protected and which ones aren't. I did sort out our problem. I was running, my brain, I must admit, 2 hours in, I tend to lose some focus. I think it's as soon as I hit my first problem, it flusters me a little, you know, and I'm live. To start wandering around the code, but I came back and fixed it quite quickly. Let's just show it working. Let's get rid of the music. Right, let's just compile. I think it should be ready to compile. Right, we walk over to the door. Turns pink to prove we're doing that. We've got code to actually get us out of the door. Walk to a stall. It's gone green. Maybe a little bit early. I may want to mess around with the offset. In fact, what I want to do there is remove the offset on the left side, so you have to be level with it, and then have the whole width as the offset here. So basically, that should work. I think I'll do that right away while I've got that visualized in my head. So in other words, get rid of that. So now this push and that is pretty irrelevant, but hang on, but let's not bother worrying. Oh, why am I adding the offset there? Oh, I want to add the entire width, yeah. Excuse me, right. Perfect. That's the only thing. I would love to be able to make it so you actually have to go up there to get on the seat. So we've got to fine tune the Y offset a little bit as well. I discovered the reason for the flickery border is because we are setting it to blue just before we set it to green. It's no big deal, we're not even going to have that in the end game anyway. Other than that little 4 pixel bit that we want to try and remove there, it's perfect now. So that's on the underside of the stool, which is actually the greater number. So I believe that's the very last one of the checks. Can I just do +4 there? Just a test, and then do -4. He's still getting to it a bit near. Yeah, it's slightly too keen that on the bottom. Same result. It's gone backwards, yeah. So I had it right the first time. I think I just needed to add 5 or 8. Wouldn't make much difference. Maybe 5 was better. Perfect. Perfect. I need to get the sound effects. Stream sound effects. Look at that. Just pixel perfect collision there. What we need to do. Oh, I was going to come up with a way of initializing the seat. So, not the seat, like the sit down of Mikie sort of initialization, so that if you were slightly not level with it, it would just level you up. But you actually have to be level with it now. There's no way of him not being in the right spot every time. So that's great. All I have to do is create a sprite with no legs on it, and it'll just look like he's sitting down. We'll nudge it down a couple of lines, the rest of the sprite. Brilliant. Player. Let's play it up. So we've conveniently labelled it for everyone. So I can just copy that. I can't remember exactly how our draw code works. It might require us to have free. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's gonna be fine. Oh, I hate that feature. So it's very similar to the attack. Look, we've only got one frame for the attack. So I think what I'll do to make him sit down. Let me have a think about this. I think I'll keep him the same size so we don't have to change his draw code. And I will just change all these to zeros from about there. Yeah, I'm deleting 7 lines as I thought. But then I actually want to remove 3 of them. And put them up there. I think that'll do the trick. Oh, so that's why it's in italic. It's if you do a search, it does that. Rather than just opening it yourself. It's probably a good reason for that. By the way, if you ever watch this, I just noticed just before I came on air, Richmond Mike, thank you for the follow. Saw that come in live even though I wasn't on air. Appreciate it. All of that. All the follows. I'm bloody near the 50 now. But I have to obviously maintain a higher view count per month as well before anything good can happen really. But I can sort that out, I think. Just carry on doing good content. Try and make some longer videos. Anyway, try not to waffle while I'm coding. Is a good tip. Oh, I'm not making a new thing. I'm just adding a state. So that'll be alright. And then we can just check this bool. It's best to check it. Really, we should stop him being able to attack. So there it just says, is the key pressed? If not, it's standard. If it is, it's tap. That's not good enough anymore. Because we need to check if we're sitting. We can probably get away with just returning out from here afterwards if we're sitting. That just means you won't ever be able to attack. We'll have to have a check inside there to say, like, if you press up, then you stand back up, and then you go back into standard mode. If you remember, I came up with a convention of my own, which is I fully name stuff if it's potentially going to be called from outside, and I try to name it shorthand if it's internal. So that sort of implies you don't call this from outside. At this moment, that looks fine, but this might become not so good when we want to. I mean, as far as I as far as I know, if we're sitting in a stool, there's no other type of movement you can do except for stand back up. So in this player update method here that we're about to create, I mean, why not just put it right here because it's actually the first one in the update. So it still will return out of this, and it'll come back here and it'll pop AF back, and then that'll still be Z, in other words. That's the theory. And I just said what I need to do, but now I've forgotten. But basically we want to check, we want to make sure the sprite now is I'll keep muting now and then because of that dog. I'm just looking. It's quite inconvenient how we're doing this, isn't it, right now? But I suppose it's probably not. It's weird how attack currently does nothing. But, oh, that'll be where the collision occurs when we do it. Collision. Player draw. Because I want to change the sprite when we go into this state. This was it. So we just check. This is the problem of pause in between, isn't it? I bet if I'd have done this at the time when I wrote this, it would have been okay. It would have been much easier. But we're checking the direction. Again, we could just as easily do the same thing where we're sitting. We're only going to be one and we can just exit out if we are sitting. I mean, this might create problems for us later. I don't think it will. State in it? Player state. Need to make sure we set that. I don't know if I've already set that. Press sit. Maybe I should put sitting. But I went with the same as attack. We haven't got attacking, we've got attack. So it basically, I could have made another label, but I don't think I need to. I think I can just copy that. I mean, maybe just comment it at the top here. If sitting, set sprite to seated and return. Oh, that's why there's a label, of course. So you can jump to it. Like conditionally. I mean, one alternative is I could just set the sprite to be the seated one straight away, and then obviously this would take care of it and change it. I don't like having to do that. I'd rather just find out first, is it sit? I mean, I could just do... It's probably stupid, but it will work. Not sitting. Jump NZ, not sitting. Yeah. That'll work. So as long as I change the player's state to be sitting, right at the top we check for victory conditions. It's actually similar to that. We should probably move them around to make it tidier, but I'll do check sitting. Is check sitting a good name? I want to check for a button press if the collision is true. I mean, maybe I can just do it inside the update method for now. Oh, not attack. Yeah, player update sit. See, I don't need that to be every frame really, the way I've set this up. I suppose it works for our attack if we do want to do collision checking in here soon. Sod it, let's just do it this way. But like every frame it's going to set the state to be sitting. If a collision's detected. That's wrong. That should be down here. And up here it should just set the state, and then we don't need any of that. Is that the best way of doing it? Having a routine just to set it to true? I can't actually think of a better way of doing it conditionally like that. Then we can get rid of that return as well. But then we do have to figure out something about this. Sometimes I think I'll go about it right cack-handed way, where I've already set something up for doing this and then I do it a stupid way here. But I just don't know. One day I will get more organised when I know the language inside out. You know, pre-plan what these are going to contain a bit better. At the moment it just checks is that ball true or false. I should probably be clearer and just put state there. Oh god, I'm all over the place. Set state. See, that's what I needed. Another one like that. Luckily, I think I found it, and that is going to sort me out a bit. It's going to take some work here, but then it'll be better. The only reason it takes work is this wants to set it true or false, and that's wrong now. That would be fine if we're in standard mode already, I guess. Yeah, I think that might do it for us. So if we're already in, so we'll load a player state, compare standard. I'll keep it small case. Check. I've got to be careful I don't like rename it stuff that's too similar to other stuff. But basically I want to check if we attack it. Check attack key is pressed, I guess. It's a nice easy one. That's a pretty obvious one, yeah, I like that. I'll put it there for now. We'll probably come and tidy all this up soon. In a minute I'll tell you how I fixed that other one as well. I forgot to do that. Right, so now only if we're in a standard mode, it will flip between them two. Now in here, it's sit. If the collision is detected, we could probably combine this somehow, but we want to do much the same thing. But just check the sit key press. Same button, but just change between that and sit. And also, why am I doing false there? That's a bit stupid, isn't it? Just tidying it up when I do that. Probably would not do anything. If we're colliding with the stall, then we check for key press on sit. If we get past that, well, in fact, should we return after that? We could also do return Z if we really wanted to. Then it will never reach that. If we're sitting, if we're colliding, check for key press. If we do press the key, sit down. Check the player state. Is it standard? Well, it won't be if we were sitting. So it'll fall past that. Check the key state. Is it standard? No. Is it attack? No. Is it sit? Yes. Should come down to here and do something, but it shouldn't have to do anything because we already set up the draw code wherever that is. It just checks the state. If it isn't sitting, it goes down to here, and if not, it goes to there and then jumps to the end. Right, I'm quite happy that's just going to work, but you know, I've said that before. And I've forgotten what I'm even testing now. Oh, should be able to walk up to the seat and press F. I don't think that's working. Oh, you have to be facing up for my code to work currently. And also when you let go of F, you no longer are seated. That's quite cool though. I actually like having to hold F to stay seated. So I might just leave that happy accident. Because it's better. And then you just let go and you're off again. It's brilliant. It's pretty much working in that case. Oh, I've managed to break the game. I just pressed those buttons. So I try sitting down facing up here and it doesn't do anything. Oh, it never gets out. So if you try and seat when you're not colliding, it's crashing or going into an endless loop. Why would it do that? There's a few problems there then, because I don't actually know why it was just you ever having to hold the key. Somewhere it must be getting set to standard by default. That's why the attack was working so nice. But must be getting set every frame to standard, perhaps. Not go to definition. Oh look there, that's the reason for that. I didn't think that through. That's very easy to fix. We want to have to press up to stop sitting. There we go. So that's going to fix that. So I can't sit until I press F, which is there. Now I've let go of F. I'm trying to move. Oh, it let me move, but did I just press up by accident? Yeah, see I'm trying to move and it won't let me. Pressing down, left, right, press up, and there you go. All good. That's all good. It's crashed on that. It hasn't crashed, it's just in a loop. So something I've done has buggered this up, but it was almost working. I mean, I think there's one quick fix is to set it to standard right at the start of this loop. But then that would mean you would have to hold the sit down button. So let's go back. Here's the reason that the other code was failing. By the way, I hadn't put that yet again. I didn't load IX, and also I didn't put my get out loop, so it was continually going, and eventually it was returning after becoming true somehow. So that's what that was done wrong anyway. This time I'm puzzled. Well, hang on. The attack's fine. I haven't sorted out the attack. I need to do a similar thing there. Although maybe that is nice. Maybe that should work. But let me try it without sitting down and just attacking. It's stuck. Damn it. I guess one way to quickly fix it might be this. This might work. Yeah, it does. So now it's the only thing I've got to worry about is if I try and do it. Yes, it works. No bugs. Perfect. Absolute. I think that's literally pretty similar to the actual Spectrum version, except for your sprite's smaller, and we can move diagonally, and I don't think you can in the other one. I think it makes it more fun being able to move diagonal, and I actually think it's a bit more fun having a bit of space to run around because we've got less desks. It works superb. Oh no! Oh, I can get up. Yeah, it's up to get up. I forgot. I honestly think it might work better than the original Mikie controls so far, but we haven't got other characters in there yet, so it's easy to say that now, isn't it? Mikie teaching the class. So what's next to add, really? Because I've just done everything I wanted to do. That's I thought that might take us hours. We could add the student in. At the moment, we only have one attack button to do everything. So if we're really clever with how we make the shout attack, we could make this a joystick game as well. At first I thought we were going to just make it have 2 attack buttons. When you attack a person, On the Commodore 64 it nudges you, but actually I noticed on the Spectrum one I don't think it does. I might be wrong. Might have to check that later. I don't know how you would know otherwise if they weren't nudging. Maybe just the enemy just the student nudges, not Mikie. But in the Commodore, the whole thing nudges a little bit. Really need a teacher now or a student, but I'd love to have the teacher. Maybe I could draw one up now. Just no animation, just have him up there solid, one frame. Get him moving about. Don't know. I've already set it up so when you press F it goes and initializes level 2. Oh, well that's not working now. So I've got to sort that out. Just going to sit down again, just make sure it works. I'm going to just zoom in on it and see what it looks like. It doesn't look perfect, but you can clearly see he's sitting down. It's good enough. Damn, I've got to do artwork again. Oh, there's meant to be hearts, of course. Oh, and that's why I couldn't get out, because I haven't put enough hearts collected. I'll put that down to 0 now, properly, where it should be. Then what happens is I've made a constant for every level. So this one's going to have 5 hearts, because you sit down by default. So we should probably change that as well. Let's get it sort of ready now. What position's that at? I don't know his position. Where the seat is. The desk will help me. 14120. Really? 14? 6. I probably need one of that, yeah. So I want the back left deck. So 152. So I want quite a high number there. And I want 7 there. He's sitting in the wrong place and now I can't get up from the way I've coded it. Problems. I'll just move it about a bit and see where it comes up. Damn it, yeah, so I can't move now. I mean, I could quite happily just cop out and not have him sitting at his desk when I start. Oh, I think it's because that collision detection isn't firing, but I've put him into the seated position. I need to make sure he's in the exact right spot. Damn you. I wish I could print out his values when I go and sit down. So they're at 152. Let's just try. I've tried 160 already. I'll just step around here. This sort of these values and see what happens. I'd say 7.6 then. Oh, whoa! I should have went the other way. So 160. No, 156. Try that. Looks quite good. He can move. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. So I just had to make sure that matched up with the collision detection because my code just doesn't work otherwise. So let me boot this up once again. I just want to try it out as if it's a real game now. So you're sitting down. Of course, ignore the border. So you'd get up and there'd be hearts under all these seats. Something would obviously I'd have to use the block, so I've got to use the target position to. You can't just walk into students, or can you? I think you can actually. You can just walk through the students, but then you can bum attack them. So my bum attack has got to like have a box that comes out, say, one character cell further than my actual bum is. Oh, I've sat down. That was pretty cool. I was quite far away from it. That's awesome. I love that. I can't do it there, but then yeah, that's brilliant. It really handles nice. I'm going to upload this to GitHub right now. It handles lovely. Right, I have smoke. Think about what to add next. I'm going to boot the game one more time because I love that we've spawned sitting down like the proper arcade game. I might get rid of the border. We don't need that border green anymore. Don't even need set border blue there. I think we'll have it blue. So it just stays the same. The only thing I don't like about that blue is the room there. On the edge of the room, the corners. Maybe I can make them bright blue. The top corner. Oh, I wish I could zoom out on that. It's there. It's actually the only ones that's like that. Like these ones. I'll just change them. Ha! I wonder if it's worth putting the brightness on all of it. No worries, Moz, no worries, my man. It's going really well. Do you want to look? This is now how you start. I've just messed up them top corners, but don't worry about them. That's how you start in the real game, and now you sit down like that by default. You can press up to stand up, press F to sit back down. If you press up, you can then walk around again. Press F. Oh, I wasn't colliding with the seat, so it's a bum. There you go. It's absolutely perfect, and I've just uploaded that to GitHub, like that moment, so anyone could relive this glorious moment where it's all working lovely. And even if you're down here, you can't collide with the seat. You have to go back up there. So it's working absolutely pixel perfect. We need to. I've just made it so you can't get out because you need to collect enough hearts. So the next thing I guess I'm adding now is hearts. I was going to draw the teacher, but I don't know. I hate doing live art live. Thanks, Moz. Yeah, it's making a good start. Do you see at the top left the brightness? Maybe I should make them all bright. Do you reckon? It's a hassle going in there and doing that, but I think I'll keep them all dull. Which just means changing these four back. In fact, I didn't undo too many things. Looking good. Yeah, and even if you mash the keys, it doesn't crash. Because I did have one moment where my code was getting stuck in an endless loop somehow, but I think I solved that. It's brilliant. So now when he's in attacking, or when his state is in sitting, the teacher won't attack him. Maybe in the later levels he will. We'll have to have another state saying has he ever not been sitting, if you know what I mean. Or we could just have a bool. Awesome. I'm happy with that. What next though? Yeah, it's the hearts, I guess. I could quickly draw a heart in ZX. Thanks, Jamie. I'm happier with that, yeah. At one moment I was getting worried because it is getting a bit of a spaghetti mess in the code, but still nature of the beast, isn't it? It's actually quite clean, I think. Because there's not that many functions he has to do, you know, he only has a couple of attacks. We can do it like this. Can't even find it now. Where's the player? update. Yeah, it's quite clean really, the way it works. It might get messy if we had to add more types of animation, like more types of states. The only other state we need is the shouting, I think. And that is, all that does really is freeze your movement for a second, and a sprite comes out of where your head is, you know, for like 2 character cells width. Bang. And it doesn't really do anything. It's only for like collecting the stuff. I don't know why they called it shout really. He shouts at lockers and gets hearts out of them somehow. Yeah, let's close that. Let's try and get organised. I've got to quickly draw a heart, there's no getting around it. What size do we want it to be? If I make it only inside an 8x8, it's going to be slightly off-centered, isn't it? Should I make it 16x8? I'll move us over to that window. Hello, Micro Man. 11 AM, plenty of time in the day for some assembly. Alright, so we're back in. Oh, that's GIMP. No, it isn't. It's ZX. Is it? Oh, I haven't got ZX open. So, I think, unless anyone can think of a better way, I'm going to have to do it that size. But I don't like zooming in much further than that. Don't have to zoom in. I can zoom out. Very odd. Shouting at lockers funny as, isn't it? He gets the heart, so whoa, what happened there? Oh, of course, the paper and the ink. I want red paper, black ink. I mean, it doesn't really matter in this app because I'm not even going to put the attributes on. I'm such a bad drawer. Luckily, the heart's pretty easy in it. That's why I really don't like doing it on live. Is that good enough heart? That looks pretty good. Maybe it was better before. I don't know. Is that same? I'll do for now. Line based. 2 bytes per line. Okay. Yeah, again, I'll be in sprites. I'll just make a new file for each sprite. Oh, how have I ended up with just that? What have I just done here? .asm. I've created a file called .asm, that's what I've done. There we go. That's the cookie. Tidy it up a tiny bit. It looks kind of weird on that, but it's a start, isn't it? Sure, I've already got a draw sprite for that size. We'll want to excuse me, we'll want an array of them again. But each level will want its own array of them. So let's have a think about that for a second, because I think that's quite new to me, and we need to do this for desks as well. At the moment, I'm dealing with the desks. Paint desk is fine. Yeah, of course. That'll have to be sorted out, won't it? That'll have to be moved or renamed to desks level 1. That tells its position and all that. So I'll use the hearts as a practice for that, really, because we'll have to change that soon. But each level has that's what contains the different array, really. So I think we'll just have it here. I mean, it's not a constant, so I don't want to use it in capitals. We'll have 1 for the is alive ball. Then it's just a case of knowing the positions again, isn't it? Oh, I really should have wrote these down, shouldn't I? I can work it out from the desks. In fact, let's just copy the desks in there. Again, that 255 is just to signify the end of the array. So I could just come in here and put plus offset and make it some offset if we wanted, but obviously it's easier just to work it out. So 6. So I'm just looking at the art program because that's going to help me. Yeah, we want to move it over 1 on X. 7. Let's do all the X's. And then 6, 8, 16. We want to move it down 24 lines. So I might as well just put plus 24. Okie dokie. I'm sort of using the desk as a template, but I'm bearing in mind I might actually want to change how I'm handling these desks. It's not like the most clean. When we've got the player, we've got all the drawing stuff for the player in there, but here we've just got sort of data only. But maybe it's better like that. Who knows? Who knows? So that's okay. It's not needed in there. I think it is quite clean, and I may as well just match up what I'm doing. Draw desks. Draw hearts. Just check for the end of the array. Get out. So actually doing it in this like repetitive manner, rather than I used to find ways of just having one function and I could just feed it whichever one I wanted to do. But this is actually better because we could even have the data laid out completely differently. The only drawback is if you do want to change the way you're doing things, you have to do it multiple times. You have to go back and change multiple things. But so there we call draw sprite desks, but we could just as easily call draw sprite. But there's no 16.8. That's unfortunate. Oops. I'll change that in a minute. See, there's no heart data length either, but it's the exact same as the other one. So the only two things that were different was the size of the sprite and the length. But I guess this does have its advantages. Like if we did want to change the layout of the data of a heart. Where was I? Oh, so this is right away in the root file, which kind of makes sense. Looks good. The only thing I've got to do now is change this to an 8. It should be a doddle. Oh god. Did I change the name of it? Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's as simple as just finding the 7th one, not incrementing anything from there, deleting it all, except for the return. It should be that straightforward. So the theme continues of just millions of copy paste, but just works quickly as far as I know doing it. That didn't work though. Heart sprite. Oh, of course. Sprite's heart. Right, so in the level we just said here's our hearts array and here's our constant saying how many hearts there are. It should be 6, although Mikey's desk doesn't have one. So there's where all the hearts are. Obviously we set up the sprite and that's just a constant with the data length. That could have gone in the level, but then we'd have to write that every time. We called draw sprite from, did I do draw sprite? I've created that, but did I ever call it? Of course I would want to do that inside the level draw function, if there even is one, which there isn't yet. Well, that's the next thing, we need to separate this into an update and a draw pretty soon. Draw desk, let's just draw it straight after we draw the desk. There should be one that just was called hearts. Oh, L1 hearts. Alright, fingers crossed. It's there, it's working by the looks of it. They look a bit big. I didn't think of that, I didn't leave a border around the edge of the heart. They're far too big. I'm going to zoom in so I can have a good look. Oh damn, I hate it where you can't see anything. Ah. Well, I'd just say that it needs 1 pixel around the edge as a frame, so we're going to have to start again on the drawing. That's the most I can zoom in. That's alright. Got to delete that little bugger, haven't I? Forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, I do love dropping in different graphics and just seeing an instant improvement. That is quite fun. They could probably do it being a bit smaller, and I think they have like a sort of bracket effect around them. like a little square bracket, but it's good for a placeholder. I think we'll update the graphic another time. We've got to come up with some way of, when I move over here, I can sit down. It's got to know, is there a heart there? And if so, give it to Mikie. Now that's going to be quite tricky, because it's got to be related to that desk. Or I guess that heart as well. We could just check collision on actual hearts and just make the collision box bigger than the heart or move it upwards. So then if you're seated and you're colliding with a heart, then you get the heart. And I think that sounds like a way to do it. Just need to go and use the toilet. I'll be back in a minute. I'll just mute out. Okay. Let's see what we can find next to do then. I think that's going to be the easiest way. Is he seated and colliding with the heart, and I'll just move the heart collision box upwards a bit. It's very much like that code, so I will paste it again. I shouldn't have called that go next object. I should have said go next stall. Okay. And this one, Go next heart. Okay. We need to create that ball. We could do it even more simple than that with the collision one of heart. We don't actually need a ball, because we could just say if we're seated, check the collision here, and then just do the award player heart routine. But once again, I think I'm going to stick with this until I find a point where the game can't run fast enough, and then I'll have to come up with some optimizations. Hopefully never. So we just set it to false every frame before we check. This is another bit that could be optimized out, because it was when you wanted to add an offset there, but again I'm leaving it. So if you're confused as to why that's there, it's not actually needed, but it just saves A and then gets it back. I could just switch them around, but I'm not going to. Desk stall offset, that needs to be changed. I don't think we need an X one at all, but we are going to need a Y one. How much is that, just so we know what we're working with? So, oh, I'm going to be a bit cheeky. I'm going to be a bit cheeky, knowing that we're locked on the character cells. I'm going to actually delete some of this stuff. I want to know if player X is not equal to heart X. If it is equal, we've got a collision potentially, but if it's not, we can just jump straight out. So no offsets, no nothing. Are they equal? That's what I want to know. Hang on. Check Cole's stall. It doesn't need any name there. So what I just did there was just delete all the X checking code, and now I'm just checking if they are equal. And if they're not equal, sorry. So they have to be equal, and then it does allow us to have the collision. Then all this stuff is the same, except if we want to move it up. Funny enough, 12. So for now, we'll just test it by just putting +8. +8, just try that. Might be -8, might be, and then we can create its own constant. So now I think I will just rely on my old change border pink. So this is basically saying we've collided with a heart, yeah? And set the ball to be true. It's done nothing more than that. Does it go pink? It's probably going to go pink if I just walk over a heart, which would be a bit annoying. Let's try that first. No. Okay, still nothing. Oh, probably haven't even called that routine. It might as well be in the update sit. So when we sit down and hoping it goes pink. Oh, it's already pink. Alright, that's no good. Check collision heart. Oh, that's why. Where did I call it from? Oh, inside that thing, wasn't it? I make this mistake so often, and it's not necessarily going to fix it, but it probably will. It might. Okay, it's not pink yet. Oh, it's still not pink. Something else is wrong. But that could be just the Y offset. Because the way it works, you've got to be seen as being colliding with a heart while you're sitting down. Let's just try -8 on some of these. Just try both of them for now. No. And the awkward way of debugging this is because you're sitting down, you can't even move. I just have to rely exactly on getting this right in the end for my own brain. I can't do any trial and error. But what I can do is roll a cigarette and have a good think about it. Because for a start, we can put raw numbers into this instead of a constant for a second. Maybe we want to subtract. But if you just have a think about it, you want to be sitting down. So my Y position when I'm sitting down as a player is actually just under where the desk starts. Just in the middle of the desk's height. But the heart is obviously all the way down lower than that, which is a higher number. It does get confusing. And we're actually trying to discover no collision, remember. So it could be either of these two. I think this one, but maybe not. Well, no, it's probably this one, because this is saying the player's position, including his height, which takes you down to his feet, is less than the heart position Y. So they're saying we're above the heart, which is actually where we want it to move up. If A is less than B, return. So it's good that we've added stuff there, I think. Why is his height only 5? Damn. Well, let's make this smoke, and I'm just going to continue reading line by line. Even if I have to delete that and rewrite it, it's not too bad. And I'm 99.999% sure it is one of these two. Interesting how that one worked. It will never unset the border because I don't do that anywhere. I'll do it here for now. So that one doesn't work. Yeah, it's subtract, isn't it? I'll have a look. It's weird. I think it looks like I've subtracted too much or something, because this one's working, but the one below isn't. That one's working. And again. Oh, we got a collision then. That's weird. You should only be able to get a collision when you're in a sitting state. Weird. Okay. Get rid of that. Not that it mattered what them being there, but just makes it a bit easier to read like that. Subtract 16, maybe. That should take us to exactly where his head is. And really, we can be dead equal again, can't we? We're always going to be in the same spot. No collision. No collisions. It's definitely not working now. Oh, that nudges down, but the sprite doesn't. There's some blank ones. I really thought 16 would have done it. I think I'll go back to how I had it, where it gave us a width between. Just to double check that compiles and gets back to where I expected it to be. It works great, except for that weird fact that it does it even when you're not sitting down. I mean, I could just check the player state right at the start of this collision check and just return false if that was a problem later down the line. I think above somewhere I check. I only call that if we are sitting. Yeah, that's it. Here, that doesn't get called anywhere else, does it? No. Sitting matters, yeah. Because I don't want you to be able to collect the heart until you sit down. So really, the heart, what I probably should have done in hindsight, but it'll take a lot of retouching, is make the heart part of the desk and then have a bool in the desk's data to say, has the heart been collected? And then when it has, in the draw code, it would check, is that bool set or reset? And if it's set, we draw the extra lines at the bottom. If it's not, that's how I would have done it next time. But I'm so happy with how this draws, I don't really want to mess with it. I think this way is also okay. This will check the heart. I mean, I also need to come up with a way of setting. I guess that's not that hard. we're already in IX, so before I increment, I can just go load IX A, because I don't think you can just put 0 into there, but then X or A. So that sets the is alive ball to 0. But later we'll have to not draw them and not check collision. We'll have to do a check. So for example on a collision we're doing it there already. But we'd do 0 here. And then it would be jump Z next. Like that. So now it will only check collisions on the live ones. I need to do the same on the drawing. Where do I draw the hearts? There. Interesting. Yeah, that's fine. I can just do jump Z. Oh. Draw hearts. Go next. And that's wrong. There. So now it should, when we get the collision, it should just disappear. And of course, really I should have a collect heart function on the player. So it'll add 1 heart to his tally. That can come in a minute. This one was colliding, wasn't it? Let's see if it disappears. No. And why did it glow before I sat down? I don't get that. Oh, this one disappeared, look. It set the wrong one. I was worried that might happen. Interesting. Where's it gone? To be quite honest, I thought that should have worked. Because I've forgotten where I actually put the code now. Here. It hasn't increment. Oh, yeah, only if it's true. So if we find a collision. So for a start, I'm going to stop this from happening when we're not sitting down. So that shouldn't be able to happen now. Unless we're sitting down. It's got 2 checks. It just happened again. I wasn't sitting down. How does that do it? And then the other problem now we've got is once it has removed one, the rest of them seem to be impossible to collide with. Let's just try sitting down. I'm pretty sure it won't collide. But the reason I'm baffled as to why it doesn't know which heart to remove is we point directly at that heart and then we increment up to the other one after. This return It really is fine because if you get a collision, you can't collide with two at the same time. So it stops checking anymore. Why would the first one there be? And how can it collide? When twice I say to it, if the player state is sitting, return. And then up here it has to be in sitting state to even call that function. I mean, just out of interest, I'll try putting it up there. I think that's going to do the exact same thing, but just wasting some processor sometimes where it doesn't need to. Yeah, I didn't sit down. I didn't actually get to collide with that heart either before it did it. I wonder if I just walk around the room. Yeah, it just does it eventually. I've missed some bloody pointer or something. Maybe I'll just redo it my other way. Draw them as part of the desk, the hearts, and then just have a bool in the desk, so that each desk will manage its own heart, you know. But I'd like to just get it working this way. I think we're not far off. But let's put that back in where it should be. So only if it gets to here will it ever call that collision function. Somehow it was making it into there. No sense whatsoever. Yeah, true is just like a convenience constant I set up, which is I've dumped it in here for now. So it's just a constant equal to 1. It works much the same way as these directions. They don't really mean anything, but rather than putting 0, 1, 2, I can just write that now. Same with that, really. They're sort of like an enumerator or an enum if you've used C#, or I think they've got them in C++ as well. Can't remember, but they've definitely got them in C# and Java. It's a bit like that, really. That's what an enum does. Well, that's how I use enums in them languages anyway. They're even better in them languages because you can, of course, pass like an integer value into a method and use it as an enum state. But it's useful if you want to just increment, because you can't increment a state, but you can increment a number. Sometimes you just want to increment through states, do you? Damn. Now I've got two ideas in my head because that desk idea is coming into my head. But my mind's a bit shattered from how it's happening when I'm not even sitting down. Because I've explicitly put, don't check if we're not sitting. Wait there, that's the other way around, isn't it? That'd be why. Return if we are sitting. Return NZ. I'll walk around a bit. Oh, it hasn't taken it away from me. Don't take my heart away. It did work when I sat down, which is great, but it still took the wrong heart. I've dealt with this problem many a times on other games. I don't know why. Although I did run into a similar problem where I was spawning an array of bullets, and for some reason sometimes they would spawn in the wrong place. This might be similar. I unfortunately never solved that problem. And then for some reason you cannot collide with them after that. I think I need to go back to my other plan. The desks, the stool, everything should be linked to the desk. And then we'll have to have a ball like, is he sat in stool? Has heart been collected? It's a real shame because this works so nicely, these controls, and it's a real shame. Maybe I could battle on with this. There must be a way of knowing which heart he's colliding with. I can think of one quick fix. Right, this is a bit insane. You might want to listen carefully on this because this is going to be insane. I'll read your message first. That's weird, isn't it? Do you reckon it's to do with timing? If you run out of time when you're trying to do a loop or something, and it just has the wrong value in there at the time, or so, I don't know what that is. Yeah, but it's a similar thing. It's just unanswerable sometimes. Yeah, but check this idea out. This is another wacky idea straight from my head. These I'm treating as a bull so far. To say, is it alive? You know, should it be drawn? Should it check collisions? That means it's the end of the array. So we've got actually like 0 and 1 and 255 in use. But what about if I just done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? So 0 could still mean dead. And then we could have, again, I'm making this up as I go along, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I've got done wrong there is this desk isn't in use. So I'd want to put, I could just put 99 there. And then 5. So that is now like the sort of slot, if you will. And as long as the slot, if I could, as long as I've already got collision detection for the desk in the seat. Just wondering, the seat is already part of the desk. So we could probably get rid of all that check collision heart. I'll comment it out. And then when we are colliding with a desk, we've already got our stall one. So stall, because that is using desks. And then all we have to do, it's going to be the same problem, I think, but I could take the ix value from there and check it. I can go through a loop and set it to dead based on its number. But is that not just an arse about face way of doing what I just did though? Who'd have thought the hearts would be the hard bit? Yeah, it's in the action of sitting down in the game. If you manage to sit on the stool and you haven't already got that heart, you get it. Do you see what I mean? So there shouldn't really need to be a separate collision detection. It should just check when you sit down, is there a heart available in this seat somehow. So just for argument's sake, I'll bung it at the top because I'm a bit mixed up with it otherwise, won't I? But hearts collected 0. Current heart seat, just so I don't get too confused. I think I know more what that means. So there's no such heart as 0. And then I basically want to load A with IX. That's going to get the desk's number between 1 and 5. I then want to, I just want to put that into the hearts. See, this does feel like an arse about face way of doing what I just did though. Christ. The way I'm thinking of it's so horrible because now you need a loop to check. So I'd load current heart seat with A. This would be horrible. I can't see this staying like this. Then like kill heart or collect heart. I guess we just point IY at hearts when we do it. Why not? We've got IY there. Can you compare with that? I don't think you can do that. I'll have a check. If you can, it's going to be handy. IX is the row, which is desk X. IX, I'll show you because that's quite important, and I don't think that's quite right what you said there. IX is like a 16-bit pointer, so you can point it at a memory address, but the beauty of it is you can do these plus by a constant, so you can offset IX at any point you want. And if I look at my desks, I have an array of desk data there, you see. So IX points there, and then IX plus 2 would go to here. And that's how you sort of iterate through an array, because you start there and then you add IX with however long that array of data is per one unit, you know. So I add 5 and then I'm at the next desk. So I'm actually iterating through every desk there, and the X value is situated here on each one. And then that's the Y. And it says here what the actual format of that data is. Yeah, no problem. It's not really math, if you know what I mean. That's more of like just my own syntax that I've made up. I haven't really made it up. I've got it out of books. You know, it's the way to do it, as far as I know. But it's a way of pointing at an array of data and just cycling through it, accessing any bits of it you want. I hear they don't have that on the Commodore, which is one thing I'm sort of not concerned about. But I'm thinking I don't know how they achieve that without the IX plus 2 and all that. So we set that, call collect heart, and that's going to have to iterate through every one. So first it needs to do that stupid rubbish. And exit out if it finds the end of the loop. Then it needs to get the first one, find the same as that. And I was checking whether that was possible, that's what I was doing. You cannot do that, but I could, there is other things I could do. I could check it against IY. So I can just load A and then check it against IY. Pretty sure that's okay. So there's another good thing about IY and IX. If they are the same, then we want to kill it. But if it's not, we want to skip to the next one. So collect, go next, heart again, I guess. Load DE with heart data length. Think IY this time. So that's doing what I was just talking about. And then jump back all the way to the start of collect heart. And it'll wait until it finds that to return. So this might indefinitely hang. No, it won't. It's fine. So if they're not equal, jump to collect, go next. If they are, and this is where I say it's an ask about face of doing what I was just doing a minute ago, because I want to X or A, and then I want to load IY with A, so it's no longer alive. be amazed if this works. I'll be absolutely amazed. Because to me it feels like it's going to be exactly the same. I've just done it in way more silly way. But what I actually tried to do was I tried to pull this number from the specific desk we were looking at the time we found the collision. I then stored it in this value. I point IY at hearts and I call this collect hearts, which cycles through every one, checks that value, and if it finds one the same, it turns it into a 0 and returns. Right. Whew. I don't think it's going to work, but I think it's set to work if it is going to work. Oh, okay, we can't do one of those things. Check lose and pay a heart is undefined. Oh, of course. We no longer need to do that with this new way. So it's another annoying thing. Oh yeah, no, it's okay though, because we have to be sat down for it to call it. Oh no. No, see? That just proves that it's colliding with the stall. In that case, we'll just do another hardcore check on the player state. Compare it with the constant. Sit. And if it's not equal, return. Because we were going to return anyway. And if they are equal, then we can collect the heart. Whew. See if it works. Or at least we can still move about. And it works. It appears to work. It did work as well. Got the second one with a delay. Third one, no delay. Bingo. Bish bash bosh, man. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm getting out all the Counter-Strike phrases here for this one. Look at that. He's got 6. All we needed to do, 5, sorry. All I needed to do there was increment my hearts total by 5. Have that flashing sign only activate when the 5 out of 5, when your level amount is hit. And we've almost done the level now, and then we can just add the enemies. It's getting exciting. I'm actually amazed how that worked though. My first version didn't. My first version was much sleeker. Obviously, it wasn't clunky, just clunked into the end of this code. But I suppose this is sleeker, really. It's just when you sit down, it then checks. You just got to know it. If you don't know that's there, you're gonna get buggered up by it. If someone came along, just tried to work on my code, I'm sure that would be a right annoyance that was there. But it works brilliantly. So, and also we've got this collect heart function now, so I can just increase it by 1 before I return. Ah, hearts collected. Load A, hearts collected. That's what it should say. Ink A, load hearts collected. A. Right, so I guess that's actually behind the scenes is working now. Should go up to 5. We should then hit the amount which is specified in the level, and we have check victory conditions, and it checks it there. So we now get to this where it should be flashing only then. Though I did notice another flash thing somewhere. That perhaps Perhaps that'll work, but perhaps it just won't flash at all now. But it should do. Oh, of course. I know exactly why. That only happens once. Oh, there is a paint sign thing actually. Exit sign colour. Too many open here. Exit sign colour. And then that collision is here. So it should change it. It really should work, that. I think it will, but I don't think it will because we tried this already. And in that stage it then checks for the door collision. And then if you press F it begins level 2. So we should be able to end level 2 after collecting all the hearts. And it'll just go to a grey screen. Or crash. Let's try and take it with no hearts. No dice. It's flashing, see the sign, that's wrong. I don't know why. Got more thinking to do. Let's collect 2 of them and just bugger off out there. Alright. Let's get all 5 and go. I remember the first time I played it, I didn't know if you did need all the hearts or not. But you do. Still doesn't get there for some reason. There's something going on. I had this working the other day. Damn. Obviously it gets much more complex now because we've got so many different bits of code to fiddle with. That border colour is going to come in handy for us. There's a pseudocode, so that has to become, if that's not equal, we return. And some other bits in between we didn't code in, didn't write about. So in theory it should go pink as soon as I've collected enough hearts. Maybe I forgot to call this check victory. Maybe I deleted that. I think it's incrementing the whole time I'm sat there. Where did I put that increment thing? Because it needs to be somewhere else. Oh, sorry, my man. I muted it. Damn it. There's a dog barking next door. I've been chatting away, thinking I was talking to you. Sorry about that. Damn, I've forgotten where I am now. Yeah, what I was saying was, it should just be pulling the value from there every frame. That's an at command from ASCII. It's part of the spectrum character set. Oh, you did? Good. I mean, I hate using that, to be honest. I try and avoid it at all costs. So I think either this is not getting incremented for whatever reason, even though that's impossible, because we're getting past there, and it wouldn't if that was 0. So anyway, I've changed it to put show hearts there, and I think it's done. See if it updates now. The 0 shouldn't appear until it's pink, but it should say 5 or whatever. 5, it does. Whoa, look at that, the screen's gone drawn funny now. That's me. Oh, that's because I've used this at command crap and it's moved stuff down. I've just learned that does that. I didn't know that did that. That's probably why I was having weird trouble the other day, where I was thinking I had more space than I did on my Y value. I think I can get around that by just changing the value of Y down to 23. So that's after our screen memory anyway. Just for now. I'll have to find a way around that though. Oh, it's crashed. So it pushed some memory out of the acceptable range. Flipping thing. That's annoying that. Might just live with it back in the top. It's funny how it did say 5 that time. In that case, what I'll do is I'll move it up to here. So that hopefully we'll see it count up. I mean, I don't want my UI code in there, but at least I know it's getting called there. I'll put that to 0, it seemed to accept that. Yeah, thanks for letting me know the audio was down, that's very helpful. Good. Oh look, it's still failing. Weird how it worked a minute ago. Ah, I know why. It's just printing them, I think, and moving them along. You have to to print every frame, we would have to delete the one that's there. God. I think we can just use the space, which is two zero. I think you can do that. Do all the same thing. That's what I'm doing there. That's total gobbledygook. It seems I have to do the exact same thing, except for here. Just want to load A with ASCII space. Oh, there's no return. That wouldn't have helped. Still hasn't done anything though. It's been ages since I messed around with these ASCII ones. It's better, isn't it, just to draw the sprites, but it's the numbers I'm concerned about. Handling numbers. I had it sussed before though, I really did. Alright, I'm looking at Jonathan Caldwell's implementation. His looks pretty good. He just subtracts 10 from the number over and over again. And then takes the number. So if it's under 10, then that's the score. But if it's over 10, he takes the number. Just creates another character for it. And then that way, is he using the at command? I don't think he is. Oh, I really didn't want to stop mucking about with score and stuff right now. This was just to debug them hearts. The weird thing is, it was working before. But the only difference was I was calling it from here. Yeah, there you go, it's 0, look, but it never increases. We need to know how it's increasing with them 2 hearts, how it's getting to 5. 64 decimal. But I don't want A, do I? A is 4-1 in hex. But if I wanted to, I can add 2 hex numbers together to get that, if you know what I mean. And it's quite easy. I had a little routine written in my other game for that. I'll copy it out of there soon. That's why I don't want to do this for very long, because I've got one really good example of it written up. God, this was just to know how it's getting to 5 so quick. I've already lost where I pasted it. There. I also find it weird how... Oh, we probably call check keys in more than one place, that's why. I was going to say, how can it check the keys if it's not calling that? Level 1 update. I guess we could just have this on everyone for now. That's when it crashes, yes. It's when it's trying to do it multiple times. Was there a delete command in the... I know there's backspace, isn't there, on ASCII? Just trying to see if there's del. Delete. Oh, key press. It's not a character. Gutted. Oh, so at is 22, which is 16 hex, yeah? But 0x15 is called over. Ha! Did you see that? What the hell? That wasn't what I wanted, obviously. I thought over would have done it over the top of, they were specifying the position straight after. Need a delete or a backspace might do it, I guess. Where's backspace? I thought I saw that before. There's quite a whole number of things. Oh, erase. D2. 14. Inverse on the spectrum character set, that is 1-4. Inverse. But I think that's to do with the flash bit, because the one above that's bright. Oh no, there's flash. But I think that'll invert the colours. I see a raise here at D2. Might as well just try it. I think maybe I'm lacking a small bit of the understanding of how this is working. It said erase on the screen. Damn. Oh, of course that's why. Because I wanted to... I think I've already tried the one with space, but let's just try it again, just in case we did it wrong. If not, there's erase. But I was putting it in the wrong place. That's the at. I still need the at command. I could probably have just named that. It moves it really quick and then crashes, I think. Why is it moving it? It's very strange. I need the erase one. Try that out. D2. I can't say I've ever used that before though, so that can't be the right way. Maybe it does work, who knows. And it's probably the other way around as well, isn't it? Or I don't know actually. Oopsie daisy. Flipping element on there. Sounds like I just ran something in the background on my computer. Same difference, pretty much. God, I hate this. Just to show a bloody number on the screen. I give it a position, yeah? Why is that not good enough? The reason it's not good enough is because it produces a string of, you know, like you're typing. So that's why I was going on about this erase and backspace. 0C is meant to be delete, but that says it's only on a key press, so I guess that only works on the keyboard, but I'll try it. For a start, why am I doing add A? It's load A. Can't see that working either, but let's try it. C actually. I've just totally forgotten how to do this sort of at command rubbish. Maybe I should quickly just load that other game I had on my other screen with the really good score code. Problem is finding which one it was. Well, I found a basic project that uses UDGs and ASCII character set, and it just uses ASCII space 0x20, which I've already tried. It does delete and then display. If that doesn't work, I really don't know. No. Annoying. It's very strange, man. The only reason I'm doing this is to see if I get a whole string of them. No, I don't. It just crashes it straight away. You see the 0 up there. "9D cursor left." Let's have a look what's up there then. The whole row of 9s, or the whole column of 9s, is something very strange on the spectrum. Oh, it's the UDGs. So they're like customizable. You can just add graphics in. They're empty on the spectrum. Cursor left. That's exactly what I need, yeah, backspace or cursor left. In the example in the book, he just puts it back into the same position and does space. For some reason it's not working on mine. I mean, just out of interest, I'll try 0, 0 for the position. Does it send carriage in return? I think it does, yeah. Although I've normally avoided using the like the character set thing, but I think it does do that. Yeah, it moves everything, which is causing a problem. The weird thing is though, I've got a video buffer. I don't know why it's actually worrying it. Especially if we drew it before the buffer. It's done nothing at 0, 0. Exact same. I've only got about half an hour because then I want to go to the shop, which shuts at 10. But I will be back on my usual time slot. I mean, this isn't even that important. I could just delete all this, but we need some way of showing numbers. I definitely, on my computer somewhere, have a really good example of it working in a game. In fact, I think I've got two different. I've got one that's like an almost working game, and another one that's just like a pure example of it. But I'm pretty sure it's the same as this. The only difference is there's one that says set position, and it does all that. Yeah, and it takes DE as an input, so you can set the position. Ugh. I guess that can go in the UI. This is the only difference I can see to the working example I've got of the ASCII stuff. Of course, Y needs to be above when you do that, because I'm loading it into a reversed pair. It's a bit odd. So then, if this call set pos, then I do the space, and then I just do the same thing again. So it's no different. But that now pretty much matches what I've got in the example. Home, then Charles, then repeat. Home. So we'll look if home's on there. Home actually isn't in the Spectrum character set. It may well be something that's the same, just a different name. It's got all sorts that I would have thought was good for us. Erase, over. I think I saw insert. There is a left and a right I can access. I'll try that after this. Crash. Oh look, it didn't even make it that far. Weird. Weird that that was the same thing. Oh, there's no return, that's why. So you know, now we get the same thing. Oh, I was going to try that one, wasn't I? Left. Exactly the same. Crazy. Yes, it's weird. And it's so weird because there's just something stupid going on because I've done like 5 or 6 games with this in it and examples, and this is very, very similar. They use space though. ASCII space, all of them. There's no real reason for that not to work, seriously. It should just show a number of the amount of hearts. The only reason I can think of is like what you said, it pushes some other data forward because of that. You know, what I've drawn somewhere. That's all I can imagine. Perhaps if I call it from somewhere different. God, where did I put it? Where did I put it? Show hearts. So it's in level 1. Update. First thing we do. Draw game window. This is going to have very little effect, isn't it? Because it's about the same thing, I think. Alright. In my example, which way round did I do it? Yeah, so in my example, it's main, halt, load to expos. Well, I think that's probably wrong, but we'll do it. And I'll just put them both at 10. We'll leave it at that. It's going to crash. Yeah. What other different? Oh god, I've opened Edge. There we go. Get that. Then I immediately call set position, followed by delete sprite, which is just that. I then do all the movement code, the keyboard check, and then display it. Yeah, so I don't know. The only difference I could see was a few halts. It's not going to make any flipping difference whatsoever. It'll just make it crash slightly slower. Comment it out. I'll check. Yeah, I'm convinced it is in here because if you remember, if I actually just call it once at the start, it just shows the 0 and it's okay. Yeah, we're back to normal, and then it'll go pink now, unfortunately. And we need to know why it gets to 5 there. Seems to be incrementing. I mean, it's weird. Very, very odd, this. Is there anything I've missed from that? It's funny looking at this really old stuff. It's so long. Could do that. Saves all this hassle, doesn't it? Deleted it. It was inside the check collision with stall. I think I'll comment that. If we are sitting and, well, this bit doesn't care about the hearts thing. I'll just say collect heart. The heart thing then checks if there's a heart to be collected there. But that's obviously where it's going wrong. But I need to know how. It'd be lovely to see the number go up, wouldn't it? Does it jump up by 5? Is that what it's doing? Is it going through every one and giving me an increment in? So when it gets to the end of the array, it returns. If it finds a dead heart, it goes to the next one. So that should be fine. It should never call that if they're all dead. And then if it has made it to here, it then compares the heart number, the ID. If they're not equal, it still skips to the next one. If we get to this point here, then we've found a heart. We sat down next to a heart. So that just changes the ID stroke is alive ball to 0, which means dead. We always check that, don't we, on the drawing and everything. I'll just check the collision again. That could be it. This could be it. We still want to be able to climb with the stall, of course. I don't know, it should be alright. It checks to see if it's alive, and then it checks that the number matches the seat number. So I do think it's fine, that bit. Increase, but not store it. Increase what, sorry? IY or? Because if you're talking about IY, we jump, and then that's why it keeps checking the next IY till it finds the one with 255, and then it gets out A. Here? Yeah, we do use it, look. It's a shame it's not, I don't think it's that simple. Load A with the hearts collected, increment A. Load hearts collected with A. That's alright, mate. No, thanks for looking and checking, honestly. Don't be sorry. Do not be sorry whatsoever. No problem, my man. No problem. But that, to me, looks like we do just increment it and then put it back in correctly. Aha. No. I was going to say we never called collect heart, but we're actually in collect heart. So it does set it to dead. And it collects it. And it increments one. For some reason, my brain is telling me, without seeing them numbers, that it's incrementing by 5 every time we collect one. No, it can't be, because then it would just go pink straight away. As soon as we got one. I'll try that thing you said, where I just increment the colour every time the heart increments. Yeah, right here. It does involve writing another routine, doesn't it? Slight pain to do that. Because we'll have to have a routine saying, and a variable saying current border colour. I don't know, it's just messy, that, it's adding quite a lot of code for no reason. I'd rather get the number showing on screen somehow. Isn't there a channel 1 or something? Because I always open channel 2 right at the start. Like I've done that on every program here. But I wonder if I can switch to channel 1 to write something. Damn it. I think my other code was working because it didn't have like a screen filled up with data. This time we've got a screen that's all filled. Last time I think there was lots of space and it was okay. It just ended up okay. Jonathan Caldwell's book to the rescue, I think, but that'll be something I'll read through tonight when I'm off live. Alright, there's some easy ways apparently talking about where you can print numbers up to 9999 using the spectrum run routine. But where's he? He's not got a chapter for it. He's just done it somewhere in another chapter. By the looks of it. There we go. Right at the beginning, displaying numbers. Okay, this should work. Alright. Apparently it's... I reckon this is going to fail because of the same reason, but we'll try it. I'll just do it in level 1 for now. Show hearts collected, solid. Oh, where's hearts collected? I have to do it in the player. Definitely something called hearts collected, so let's see. I can't imagine this working. Oh, you are not found, okay. Whoops. Did you see that? Oh, I give up with the text. Yeah, it's not making a lot of sense to me. It shouldn't make any difference calling it from in there, but just trying it because I'm running out of ideas. It's going to just crash. But why does it not even say? It should at least say 0. Just crash straight away. I think the reason for this crashing is because we've got a screen full of data when we're trying to do this. If I do it on the main menu, but only call that, the main menu is empty. There's no definition for that. It doesn't even need its own file, I don't think. Oh, there is a file for it. It just said there wasn't. Ah, that's helped me understand. It's just constantly printing it. Just the last ditch attempt. Otherwise, I've got to go to the shop anyway soon. But I'm only going to call this now when we collect the heart. It should just show the number. Why is it still in there? Have I still got it in there? No. What's it on about? Alright. So when we collect the heart, it's probably going to crash, but let's see if it does anything. Oh, I managed to make it not crash. Can't see any numbers, sadly. Stupid. When I come back on later, definitely way before midnight, instead of doing a show hearts collected number, I'm going to draw a heart icon for every heart. So we'll come up with a way of looping the amount of times there are hearts and drawing them that many times. It's just going to be an easier way, and it'll probably look better for a UI anyway to do that. So every time you collect a heart, a little heart will pop up in the UI. I think that'll do for now, because yeah, I haven't achieved much again, but we're gradually plugging away, and that collision detection is pretty sweet. Just for some reason it's collecting too many hearts. I'll delete that so I don't get too confused. I've already got that function somewhere and I don't want it. God knows. I'll have to figure that out later. Yeah, thanks very much for watching all. I'll be back in probably not half an hour, but I'll be back home in half an hour and then I'll be thinking about coming back on pretty soon after that. Won't be too long. Maybe like at the absolute latest 11. But yeah, it's been enjoyable. It's a shame we keep hitting these slow patches, but if you look at the progress after however many days, it's pretty rapid. Yeah, appreciate all your chat messages, Micro. Much appreciate them. Wouldn't be the same without people chatting. And whoever's about later, thank you, man. Yeah, if you're about later, hopefully I'll have another chat. If not, see you next time anyway. Yeah, see everyone very soon. Catch you later on.